Joe, you did such a great job answering every question. You knew all the facts. Jill Biden is a monster.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
Look at her face there. She should get 20 years in jail. That's the worst display of elder abuse I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a video of a big fat Nigerian woman beating a 93-year-old British pensioner around the head with a telephone directory. So she should be in the nick. That's where she belongs. It's nice and easy because we can just export the same mantra that they used for Hillary Clinton. Lock her up. Get it done. Maximum security penitentiary in one of those Hannibal Lecter style straitjackets with a face mask on. They all love face masks in that party, don't they? Right then, I'm sure you all watched the debate. I'm not going to talk too long about it because I'm late to the party with this 8-hour time difference. Suffice it to say, I'll show you just a couple of the highlights and what the general consensus is from people that are sane, followed by some amusing ones from people who are completely delusional and actually think the bloke who can't speak somehow won it.
What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
That wasn't funny. Well, it was a little bit funny, but it was more tragic than funny. They would be doing him a favour if they took him back behind the barn and shot him, which is why I say that his missus should be getting nicked. He's been losing his marbles for years, but if anything, he looks much worse than he did like 12 months ago. He could barely talk. There were dozens of examples of it. And Trump was surprisingly statesmanlike, doing far less mocking of him than I would have done, and certainly less than I would have expected. You could see he was chomping at the bit to rip the piss out of him, and he actually held back because he's obviously been coached to, because he could have tortured him. Trump is funny when he turns into a 15-year-old school bully and he starts mocking people. Like that time he told Mark Rubio he was all sweaty. That was a beauty.
It's Rubio. That's what it.
Yeah, that one. There was a great line where he said, "Look how much he sweats. I don't know what he's got, but you don't want it." He's good at that thing, school bully mockery, and he amazingly stayed off it. So Trump performed a lot better than I thought he was going to do, and Biden was a lot worse. I think the closest the Orange Oracle came to mockery was this bit.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Brilliant. So to sum up, I'm sure you've all watched a lot of content about this now, so I won't go on too long. The Spectator, the New York Times, lots of impartial people, Democrats themselves have just said it was far worse than we thought. He's completely tonto. He can barely talk. We can't go ahead with him. And the amusing thing with this is, as usual with these people, when they rig the system or change the rules because they think it helps them in the short term, they don't realise that they will eventually get hoisted by their own petard. And once again, it's going to happen here. 2016 happened because of the DNC. As I said, if you look at all the polling, between Biden, all them Bernie bros, and Clinton and Trump and what went on with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC, if they hadn't have rigged the game and leaked the questions to Clinton before she spoke to Sanders, Sanders would have been the nomination and he would have won instead of Clinton. He was much more popular. Nobody likes Hillary Clinton. Instead, Trump beat her by about 80,000 votes and the rest is history. They didn't want to take responsibility for it then, and they won't want to take responsibility for it now. It was easier to blame Russia, blame fictional KGB agents, blame ballot harvesting, or whatever nonsense they came up with that has since been proven to be wrong. They didn't want to face the mirror and hold their hands up and say, it's our fault. Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016. And the same thing's going to happen here. Because who are they going to replace him with? The obvious, natural progression of things is that the VP would step in when the president is no longer compos mentis. But the VP was installed by them because they demanded they have a black woman stand for it, regardless of her own personal failings. So now they haven't got a candidate they can put in instead. Because Kamala Harris is even less popular than Joe Biden. Everybody hates Kamala Harris. Democrat women hate Kamala Harris. She's so insincere, she's so slippery, she grabbed her ankles and shagged away at the top of the tree. She's got zero charisma. It's obvious to anybody with eyeballs. So they're in serious bother here. I don't know who they're going to miracle out of their arse to replace him. Newsom, he's a slippery, slimy ratbag as well. If they just let the system play out, you might have someone from one of these moderate Democrats from one of the Rust Belt states or somewhere that would have won the nomination if they hadn't rigged the game, and he could have beat Trump. But as it stands, once again, if Donald Trump becomes a president again, it is entirely on the shoulders of the short-sighted, myopic, slimy rats that run the Democratic Party. And you can't blame anybody else. You can't blame Trump, you can't blame Putin, you can't blame bot farms. Look in the mirror if you want someone to blame, all right? But that's just what I think. If you watched the debate and you thought Joe Biden was clearly the winner, just like this lunatic, retweeted by Elon Musk, who simply said, lol, the winner of tonight's debate. If you think he won because you're about as objective as a clingy mother at a beauty contest, please let me know in the comments so we can all point and laugh. All right? Thanks for watching. See you all for a live stream tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.